Good afternoon. Welcome to another soul session. And this time we're going to focus on what we can expect for the upcoming new year, what's going on. I guess whatever comes out, comes out. We were supposed to record this message, but due to, and why does my camera keep flashing, right? I don't know what the app keeps flashing. Miss Nicole, why didn't you text me back? Why? We should, not that we should make some time to chit chat a little later. If you have time. If not, it's cool. It's cool. Nothing major, nothing crazy. It just would be nice. Today is Tuesday the 6th. It's also Three Kings Day. Typically, I know in my household, this is when we take the Christmas decorations down and celebrate the Three Kings. The Magi that brought the newborn King the gifts. A lot of you, as I say that, are being prepared, being washed, being made whole, being cleansed so that you are prepared to receive those gifts. This is a beautiful message that's coming in for the collective because it's like you've literally gone through the trauma of being pushed or pulled through the birth canal, or as another creator said it, how does she say it? Jesus's sunroof, right? For C-sections. And having experienced the difficulty of that, now prepared to be celebrated, which is a beautiful message to start with. And I trust that will resonate with who it's supposed to. You guys, we haven't gone live since last year, so please be sure in the messages, right, to let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, how your New Year's was. I have a confession to make, and I will leave that for the end after I'm done serving you guys. I will share how the rabbit almost got me or tried to get me before 2025 exited. And that should be fun, right? Because I like to be transparent. And even though I struggle, yes, Etta struggles with stuff, with sharing like intimate parts of my life, it's the soul tribe. It's the new year. We got to do new things, right? Right. That being said, let's get into today's message. We're going to pull the general message, right, for 2026, what we need to know. And then we're going to pull a love message. And you know what? For the collective, we might pull some one card messages. If you need a one card message, you know what to do. That being said, I haven't looked at the comments since Miss Nicole logged on, which was at the very beginning, but I will look at them after we do the general message and before we do the love reading. Okay? Okay. Thank you so very much for spending this part of your day, your afternoon, your evening with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. Moderators are on deck to keep this a safe and sacred space. Holy Spirit, it's 2026. We're 60s into the new year. What does the collective need to know about this new year? And I want to hear, how did your New Year's come in? How are you guys doing? What else? Because, we like to make it an even four. And then we'll take one from the top. Now from the top, make it. What's the vibe for 2026? Thank you. Because that came out immediately. And then we'll get one from my Neon Awakening deck that I got from Spiritual Infusion. What else does the collective need to know on this Tuesday about 2026? Anything needs to be clarified for the collective? Let's put that here. And then lastly, we get from the good old Kipper deck. What else does the collective need to know? Because I wanted to come out crossing. I don't like that reversal, but we'll take it. What else? I don't like these crossing cards. And that one kept spinning. Right, we're going to start here because it's speaking about the divine masculines. Remember, about 2 years ago, we were told, we were informed, we were put on notice that a lot of divine masculines are going to be dragged, they're going to be pushed, they're going to be pulled, that dark night of the soul, going through that ego once and for all. And the ones who were left over in 2023, 2024, 2025 were really the most stubborn of the bunch. But we really needed divine masculines, people who incarnated masculine energies, I should say, who incarnated at this time to really step into their soul purpose. They spent a number of years, decades, whatever, dibbling and dabbling in their ego's pleasures and things of that nature, as I'm seeing Prince Akeem, right, coming to America, sowing one's royal oats. Okay, now that you've done that, what is your purpose? What are you here for besides being a karmic, right? What energy are you bringing to the collective? A lot of masculine energies, and we're talking about the energy, not the physical vessel. We're really pushed into that energy of looking at the man in the mirror and making some changes. And it hurts my heart that a lot of, they're showing me the best of them, the strongest of them, didn't answer the call. When we look at the ruling masculines of the world, of society, right, across the globe, they all possess a certain or similar characteristics, right? They all rule from ego, not from the heart. We needed masculines, and we still very much need, as a collective, as a world. Gaia herself is begging for people to lead from a more spirit-filled, heart-led, balanced with the mental, of course, energy. Not stepping into one's soul purpose not only delays their destiny, but delays the destiny of everybody they're attached to as things get rerouted, shifted, and changed. Because one monkey don't stop the show, right? Things still have to go on, things still have to move forward. But because we have this beautiful thing playing, 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 we have this beautiful thing called free will. A lot of masculines decided to still play. 40-something-year-olds still having sleepovers and playing video games. That's the highlight of their day, right? They will abandon everything to sit in front of that console, which is not to say that that's wrong or right, immature or whatever. But this is what they're pouring their extra energy into after spending 8 or 10 hours at work, 2 or 4 hours commuting, that little bit of time when they should be connecting with source, connecting with spirits. They're connecting with GT. What is it called? At some point, it does serve as an outlet, right? To regulate one's emotions, a distraction. But there comes a point where we are consumed by our distractions that are distracting us from doing the work. And this is the reason why this card kind of like wanted to come out in reverse, wanted to come out crossing, didn't know what it wanted to do, because while a lot of masculines are at that proverbial fork in the road, some of these imbeciles are just sitting there doing nothing, or worse yet, doing what they've always done. Mercury, Gemini energy. Boo, communication, intellect, reasoning. Momo, don't take that personal, and my other Geminis. Influences how you think. Mercurial energy has been flowing into this person's life, trying to get them to shift the way that they think, get out of the small box that they've placed themselves in, that society has placed them in, and rather than stepping out on faith, stepping forward, following their spirit's call, their soul's call, they're like, nah, I'm good. A lot of rejecting energy, a lot of just like being led to the water, thirsty as you know what, and refusing to drink. as we pull out sipping on some scissor. Rumors, gossip, knows. Oh God, some of them, right? Rather distracting. Oh no, themselves with novelty things like video games and such. They're so busy consumed with other people's drama and being the drama and being that person that always instigates things and always wants to know what everybody else is doing but never shares what they're doing because the only thing that they're doing is being worried about what everybody else is doing. Who lives like this? Which is, again, not to say it's good or bad, but there comes a point where you have to realize that that route isn't serving you. It's just keeping you in that low vibrational energy. And we know a lot of divine masculines, societal structures, family structures, just their plain karma that they were supposed to come and work out during this lifetime has kept them in low vibrational energies, distracted so they don't awaken to their purpose. They don't awaken to their work. They don't take that leap of faith. The last reading we put out referred to some of these masculines as a monster, but go ahead and say it. Some of them are a straight clown for not taking that leap of faith. Whatever they're struggling with in life or wish they were better. Why am I seeing men with receding hairlines? Being stressed out, things would get better if they listen to their soul. Rather than trying to be so analytical, so concrete in their thinking, start to lean into the abstract. Feminine energies have an easier time with abstract concepts. Hard stop. But it's not to say that masculines can't have an easier time if they work on it. We get better at the things that we work on. And I don't know who these are. Give me their names so we can help them. But this is the energy of sitting at that fork in the road and being so stubborn. And this is the type of stubbornness that in 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to look back at 2026 and wish they made the changes, they did the things. Well, it's never too late to do the things. It's better to do them when you're prompted to do them so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor in the way that destiny designed for you to. Some of you, because it's not always masculines, because there's some of you mofos here on the live in this stubborn energy. You've gotten all the signs, you've gotten all the synchronicities, you know you're supposed to be doing the work, not the light and fluffy work of diving into your spirituality. Right? That's easy to do because the way life is set up, these symbols and synchronicities haunt us all day long. But doing the deep dive, doing the deeper work, you've been running from it. Why? Because you're scared you're going to find yourself. And since you don't know who that self is, you run. You do what you've always done because it's comfortable. 2025 made a lot of the collective uncomfortable so you can be inspired to take that leap of faith. But so many people, not just masculines, mostly masculines, said, no, thank you. We have two things crossing. False person, second house. Second house ruled by Taurus, the house of value, the house of money. Focus on material and physical possessions, finances, self-worth. Self-worth. Side note, there's a saying that the people that pick on you, the people that wonder what you're doing, what you're up to, the people that go out of their way to make your life a living HE double hockey sticks, regardless if they're doing better than you, regardless of, why would they be jealous of me, right? They have da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's because on a level, they feel that you're better than them. And they have to break you down to size by picking on you. F them people. Respectfully. A lot of the masculines or a lot of the people who struggle at the fork in the road also struggle with self-worth. We've heard in certain readings, right, especially the ones involving a Gemini, they came out in October, about ghosting and running away because they felt like you were too good for them and you were, something else and something special. You are all of that and more. But it was that special to remind them that they're special too, that they're one in a million too. But instead, they ran with their tail in between their legs because you're too good to be true. And that says more about them, way more about them than it does about you. This false person not showing up as our authentic self, because that's scary. For a lot of people in this day and age, even though the world pretends to be so accepting, it's still very scary to show up as one true self. If you can't show up as your true self with yourself, how are you going to show up in a relationship with somebody else? This is one of the reasons why relationships struggle so much. It gets to a point where one person is holding back and the other one is pretending just to keep the status quo. And no one is working in their purpose when they're in that energy. Clarified by blocked. Moving on, nothing to say, stop calling. Sad to say, because we are in a 1 year and we are transitioning. We are transitioning into the 1 year, right? Because it doesn't officially start until Aries season. And this is why I guess Spirit is so loud today, because who knows? In the less than 90 days between now and the astrological, aka the real New Year, people can change. People can have that radical change. And this is why these came out sideways, right? More Gemini energy, twin energy, also Pisces energy. Having a decision to do between this and that. But you see what they're holding? It's the red cord of fate. The red cord of fate tells us that twin flames, soulmates, divine soulmates are always connected by this red string, the red string theory, not cord, right? That never tangles, like no matter how far one goes, it's this string that keeps them connected. But these scissors remind you that you can cut it, especially if this person isn't doing the work. We live in a day and age where there's too much access to information. There is no excuse for ignorance. It's just one's inability to do the work. When it comes to love and your person, you know they've been trying, genuinely trying, rather than just telling you what you want to hear, showing you what you want to see, but making those internal changes that reflect on the outside. Some of you are being called to cut off that relationship once and for all. Unless you want another 9 years of what you just spent the last 9 months living like. The choice is yours. The scissors are literally in your hand. Next we have Privileged Lady in reverse. I done let that. Judgment. Because you have to make a choice. Some of you are delaying your destiny because you're holding on to someone that you need to let go of. Someone who has already shown that they're stubborn and unwilling to change. People who go around saying, oh, this is the way that I am. There's so much to unpack there to make a blanket statement. But once somebody tells you this is who I am, they're also telling you I'm unable or unwilling to do the work. In order for you to have your rebirth, in order for you to step into that happily ever after, that privilege, right? Living that dream life that you've been dreaming of. You got to let go of people who are not doing the work. Because when we've heard this message before, you've done the work. Whether you've done a lot of work or a little bit of work, you've done the work. Take these next less than 90 days, right? To release the people, places, and things. Use this as your hermit mode season. A lot of you are being called to go into hermit mode in January, February, and then you pop out in March as the privileged lady. This is the season for you to dot your I's, cross your T's, make the necessary arrangements so that you can transition into that next level that you're being elevated into, with or without this or those people that haven't done the work, right? Focus just on your healing and your growth at this time. Come March, we'll revisit it. Reclaim your power. That's how you reclaim your power. Going within, doing the healing, and Archangel Raphael came out towards the end of the last message to remind us all to work on our healing, and we're not doing it alone. If you need to get into therapy, get into therapy. If you need to get a spiritual counselor, get a spiritual counselor. I'm taking clients too. But do the hard work of healing and preparing for what's next, with or without this person. They say we only have one twin flame. They say we only have one true divine partner. But who really knows? The Most High does. And if we are destined to be with this person and they're not doing the work, you really think it's going to be your lot in life to wait and never have that wish fulfilled because your your group project partner couldn't get it together? Absolutely not. Your happiness is paramount. It's your destiny. And even though you had your pre-selected group project partner, your co-pilot to do this thing called life with, if they're not willing to do the work, well, you know what? It's time for the replacement. And yes, everybody has a replacement. We can still pray and hope for a person, but, there comes a time where you're going to have to do that from afar, from a distance, as you're living or happily ever after, and they get to see you live. And again, it's a free will choice. Our guides, their guides might say, you know what? We really want you to stay and really want you to work on it because they're almost there. They've been almost there for the past 3 years. Take it to the Most High. You can. That's your father, right? When mother says no, right, we go to daddy. Go to Sky Daddy, seriously speaking. Go past the angels to get your answer. Because if you have a vision of living happily ever after, right, of having a partner that supports you on every single, like you have your list, and the person that you've been told is your twin flame, is your kingdom spouse, isn't getting it together, are you supposed to wait until you're 82, 90? Take it to the Lord for that answer. Don't rely on, I don't want to say the low level, because we can't put those two words together. Don't rely on the angels. We'll just say that, right? Take it to the highest of highs. And then make your decision. Understand that you have free will. Coffin. Of course we would end here. At the funeral, at the burial, putting things behind you once and for all. Because once you reclaim your power and take that step forward, there's no looking back. You've already been put on notice that 2026 is the pillar of salt year, right? You don't want to be like Lot's wife. Or do ya, right? Or do you? It's a free choice. We listen and we don't judge. Wheel of Fortune. Hey now. After you put what needs to be put in the past, after you bury what needs to be buried, after you feel your feelings and let what you need to let go, cycles, changes, destiny, fortune, fate, right? With the wheel of fortune, sometimes the wheel is up, sometimes the wheel is down. It is always moving. You're being ushered out of a period when the wheel was down and into a period where the will is going to be up, bringing those cycle changes, bringing that fortune, bringing that wish fulfillment if you allow it. Philippians, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. The channeled message coming through that goes with this. For those of you who have been holding on to someone who refuses to do the right thing, who's unable to do the right thing, who's sitting in the stubborn energy, it is better to let them go then expect them to be the person that would fit you romantically, but they're incapable, unable, or unwilling to step up to that. That's an act of love, my dear. Releasing someone that you know doesn't have the ability to love you in the way that you need to be loved is an act of love. That is putting their needs above your own. If they want to mess with, Carmisha and Karmic Kevin and Gully Gael, right? They want to do low vibe things, even though you know how beautiful their life would be if they changed. Your greatest act of love for them is to let them. Wishful thinking, second chance, deja vu, nostalgia. For some of you, and not for all of you, because I know we love to get really delulu and think that every message is for every situation. It's not. Take the bits and parts that relate to your situation. For some of you, bestowing this act of love of releasing your person that you think is your person, is going to be that click. You know when you turn on the gas stove and it click, 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 click before the flames come up? Each click was a cosmic attempt to help your masculine wake up and get out of this stubborn energy. But the click that catches just might be you walking away with love. Not because they did this and all that low vibe, high anger energy, but peacefully saying, you know what? You like playing in the mud? Have at it. I'm going to the spa. See ya. And then they may come to realize that they don't like playing in the mud anymore. And we've heard this twice so far this week. Those boundaries that you've established, those boundaries that you've set up between you and your person, hold firm. You're going to start hearing the sob stories towards the end of the month. Don't listen. You know what you want for your life. Quit delaying it. We need an angel number for this group. Shinku. We've got 2. Oh, look at that. 6,600, 9,900. And then if you turn it around, it's still 6,699. Another point to cycles completing. 6,600, facing setbacks, keep kindness and be strong, change and wealth. This is a message from your creator. Hey now. Regarding your material life, the sacred guidance from God asks you to reduce your focus on material desires, ego desires. This is not that God wants you to live a poor life, but the Creator asks that you try to obtain what you need more spiritually. Just keep faith and gratitude and be open to receiving symbols or new opportunities. This is for those masculines. Divine protection, sublimation, continuous protection, forgiveness, awakening. Forgive who you need to forgive with love and move forward. This is a message from your Creator, the Most High, representing that certain parts of your life have just ended. Where's that Wheel of Fortune? Oh, come on. The Wheel of Fortune, there we go. Somewhere in there. Just ended under divine guidance. Nothing is lost. There is no death, no accident. The recent changes in your life in which important parts of your life have stopped or changed are responses to your prayers. You are light and you are free. That is your message. Now, I know some love messages came out, but we're going to do a specific love reading for you guys. But before we go do that, let's see who's here. Say our hellos and take it from there. If you would like a card pulled for you, that information's in the you know where. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the follows. But most importantly, thank you so much for spending this part of your day, evening, night, whatever, with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. Lovely cats. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, China. Mars, Mars. 1, 2, 3, release them. Exactly. That is the theme for this first quarter of fiscal 2026. Hey, Kim Divine. I was forced into. They would do that. They will do that, especially now, especially somebody in your position. Yeah, do not let me end this live without telling you guys about my moment. Anna, that information's in the you know where. Well, hello, Shaquille. Honeybee, every time I sat down, I was like, oh, I got to text Honeybee. I got to check in on Honeybee. I would have the thought and then immediately distracted. Immediately. How are you, my love? How was your New Year's? How was your birthday? Happy, everybody, let's wish Honeybee a happy belated birthday and send her lots of good energy and vibes. TJ, how are you? Boogie, woogie, woogie. Hello. Hey there, Purple. Hey, Lex. I'm glad you were able to join us. Margie, Dorsey, Auntie. Well, we didn't do specific signs, and I guess we should have. We can. We definitely can. Really quick before we do the love reading. GTA. I feel like they're dragging me by the hair. They are. They are. They are. Hey, Daisy. All right, we're going to pull a message. Hi, Marcy. Your package goes out today, my dear. Right after the live, we're heading straight to the post office, and then I'll send you the tracking number. I know you probably did. Yesterday, I did a couple of videos in the morning, and that was the last time I touched my phone until after midnight when I got back home. All right. I'm doing great. Enjoyed. Nice. Anna is from Spain. Oh, beautiful. Nice. Thank you guys for helping me wish Honeybee a very happy birthday. You actually did make it a little bit more special. So let's pull a message. Because my intentions was to go live New Year's Eve. And then and I did say that if I wasn't going to be able to make it for New Year's Eve, to make it for that Friday, which was the 2nd. And life said, you're right. We've got other plans for you, Missy. All right, we're going to use this one deck and get a message for the signs. And then we'll do a quick love reading. Right. As I stack everything nice. Oh. Yeah, we'll use this deck. I was thinking maybe we use the other deck, but we'll use this deck. And we won't get an angel number. Just a general message of what the signs need to hear. I caught a piece of that message, Boogie Woogie, and I would say, yay! Holy Spirit, what does the collective need to know? What personal message does the collective need to know? Everybody that's on the live, according to their sun, moon, and or rising sign. Yeah. What message? You know what? We won't even do it for the year. We'll just do it for January. What is this January bringing in? Right? Because things can shift and change. Do not forget, whenever you get a message, whenever you get a download, whenever you get a synchronicity, those are snapshots in time. If anything changes, the outcome will change. Every message that you receive isn't written in stone because there's so many variables that can shift and change things. And again, if anybody wants their personal message, that information's in the you know where. So let's give these cards a good shuffle. I still haven't broken them in, but these are over 100 cards. I think this is 108. So we're getting there. And this deck is a combination of the major arcana tarot deck, right? So like the Sun, Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, right? As well as quotes, astrology, and other things. Cut. Okay. Okay. Well, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, got two, ew, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Happy birthday to my Capri Suns, by the way. We've got like 4 of you guys in the Soul Tribe having a birthday this month. Aquarius, Pisces. I think all that can be seen on the camera. Kind of, sort of. Okay. We'll make do. I don't know why it gets white. I don't know. We'll make do. And of course, this is going to be posted later on this evening on the You Know Where. And if you don't, put it in the comments. One of the moderators will point you in the right direction. At the bottom of the deck, Divine Intervention, as I'm looking at this clock that says, does this thing say 11:11? Huh. A higher power is stepping in to help you on your path. Ancestral and angelic help. You know this. You've been known this. It's time you get more serious at taking their advice, taking their suggestions, and doing something about it, right? Not just hearing it and like, oh my God, that's nice. Oh my God, I love that for me, right? Have you guys been doing your journaling? Have you updated your vision board? Have you been doing the things and walking in alignment with that vision of having that wish fulfilled? Aries, to the front of the line, sun, moon, and or rising. You got 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. House of home, home life, family, ancestry, roots, the past, mother, right? The nurturing parent. When it comes to this month, you especially are being called into hermit mode, not just to receive downloads and make the necessary adjustments, but to tend to your inner child. A lot of delays that you're seeing in your manifestations is because you have work to do around inner child stuff. So do the work, receive the blessings. And this feels very OG Soul Tribe member oriented, right? It could apply to all Aries, Sun, Moon, and or risings, but very much the people who have been doing the work, I should say. More work needs to be done towards spending time with your healing child, with your inner child, healing those childhood wounds, and such. Months ago, we talked about the ACEs score, sitting with your ACEs score, adverse childhood experiences score, and making peace with it. It is not a life sentence. It is not a label. It is that score is a reflection of what happened in a point in time that points you into how you can work towards your healing. Taurus, sun, moon, and or rising with discernment, intuition versus logic, choosing the higher road, awakening life path, keen perception. Don't let nobody talk you out of what you already know, Taurus. Don't let how life looks like to trick you into thinking that's how life is going to look like for the rest of 2026 and beyond. With this dark energy and my voice almost cracking, it feels like I swallowed a spoon. Taurus, you got to be very, very careful navigating these next few months between now and your birthday, actually. Actually, no, between now and 90 days after your birthday, so July-ish. You know what you know, you see what you've seen. Don't be moved. You know what the promise is for you. You know what you put in your journals. You know what you've written in your 369 stuff and your manifestation stuff and your vision board stuff. You know the life you're supposed to live. Take the inspired action and don't let anyone or anything try to trick you out of changing course. Try to trick you into changing course and out of your dreams. That wish fulfillment is coming. When? When you fully lean into discernment and tune out the noise. Gemini, sun, moon, and or rising. Hey, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. As soon as I saw this lady in her dress, right, giving quinceanera vibes, right, but also giving the vibes of third parties, karmics, wannabes, trying to masquerade as you, doing what you do, watching your socials, trying to copy your style so they can have so they can get what you have. Poor little Ting Ting, pay them no mind. They're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to drive themselves more crazy trying to be you, and they're racking up a bunch of negative karma, right? Pretty much they've been put on notice to stop. It feels like since the summer, and they haven't. They just I know who this is for. They just still keep trying to take what's yours because they feel that it's rightfully theirs. And since nothing has worked, they're trying to be you in hopes that, that would be the thing that tips the scales in their favor. For some of you, it's giving what's that movie? Single white female vibes. So be careful with who you have close to you at this time, especially if you have Taurus placements. That's part of the discernment you're being called into. Cancer, sun, moon, and or rising. Japanese proverb, what you got? If you feel like you're losing everything, remember, and this is one of my favorite, this came out earlier this week, well, yesterday or Sunday. If you feel like you're losing everything, remember, trees lose their leaves every year, yet they still stand tall. So wait for better days to come. That is pretty much self-explanatory. It ties into the angel numbers that we got about, those losses being a part of answering those prayers that you have. Take it in stride. You're going to come back bigger, fatter, and better, like a tree, right? We know we can tell the age of a tree by cutting it down and counting those rings, because the more rings that it has, the older that it is. That's why when we see saplings, right, they're very, very skinny and narrow, but as they grow, that trunk gets thicker and thicker and thicker than a snicker, right? So this is your period of going through that growth, of going within, shedding your leaves, preparing to transform as you leave the year of the snake and enter the year of the fire horse. Leo, sun, moon, and or rising. With this tower and this heart in the background, right? And these feels like blaka, blaka, blaka energy. Sudden change, chaos, revelations, destroy, transformation. You too are going through that moment of transformation, of change, of loss, of some of you at your wit's end and thinking that things are not going to get better. Always remember, whenever we see the tower, however we see the tower, whether it's right side up or upside down, a tower is a tower. It's one of those cards that it is what it is, right? Things are going to be shaken up. It could be shaken up a lot. It could be shaken up a little bit, but it's going to get shaken up. And that shaking up is because whatever you're standing on is not a solid foundation. Whatever you thought it was isn't. So it's time for you to let it go and move accordingly. Heavy on the energy of whatever you thought it was, you now know that it isn't. Make peace with it. Make peace with this tower moment. Make peace with everything that is leaving your life, right? Say goodbye for once and for all, going back to that funeral card, that coffin card we had, right? Because once the coffin goes in the ground, we don't bury it. Well, we typically don't. Once we buried it, we don't dig it back up. Once you've walked away from a situation, a person, a place, or a thing, and you've buried it, don't dig it back up. Virgo, sun, moon, and or rising. Hey, superstar, Aquarius season. Very loud. Very, very loud. Something was revealed to you. I want to say they're showing June 2023. You had some type of dream. You wrote something down. There was some type of moment, right? Like a supernova popping off, or like a comet going through the sky, where you had this sudden download, this sudden revelation of something you're about to receive. And this was June of 23, and it was August and September and the fall and the spring. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to happen. It's about to happen. Do not give up hope. Do not give up faith. Know that your order took a little longer to arrive because there were some things that needed to be worked out in the spiritual. I'm seeing warring angels fighting on your behalf to clear the road, clear the path, so you can receive this without further interference. Virgo, it feels like you have been the victim of spiritual warfare for a very, very long time. You're about to see your faith pay off in ways that you didn't even dream imaginable. Libra, with your 2 cards. What's your bad self? Front of the line. Well, if you had any doubts about going into hermit mode, you are being specifically told, Libra, sun, moon, and or rising, it's time for your hermit season. Introspection, receiving guidance, right? From your favorite mentor, therapist, counselor, even if it's not me, right? Getting it from a good source. Going into that period of solitude so you can really not only receive the messages and the downloads, but do the work, process the work, and make it your own, right? Define your inner truth so when it's pop out season, you can stand on it unapologetically. Throat chakra. Libra, the season that you're going into and why they need you to know thyself and to thine own self be true. You're on some type of platform, you're on some type of something where you might be the trainer at your job. You might be the one who they choose to do all of the employee trainings, right? Because you have this way about you. You know how to teach. You know how to get a point across in a very unique way that helps people who struggle understand. But if you're going to help people that struggle, whether at work or in another form, you have to be solid within yourself. Very, very pointed around work situations. Somebody's going to hear of you being a trainer to fellow employees, to colleagues, and want to promote you to be the trainer's trainer. I keep hearing the trainer's trainer. A lot of you are going to be the go-to person in your particular point of expertise where you not only do these trainings at your job, but you do it elsewhere. Like other companies and other places want you to speak because you're such a good source for the information. You are the authority. Start walking like it, start moving like it, and stop denying the fact that you are the authority. Yes, many people can have the same very degree, same schooling to the T, or maybe more, but there's nobody like you. There's nobody that can do what needs to be done like you. And they're preparing you during this first quarter of fiscal 2026 to be the trainer's trainer, if you should accept the position. Scorpio, sun, moon, and or rising. Courage, power, authority, compassion, patience, strength. You have fought many battles, dearest. I almost said Leo. Scorpio, right? Who may also have Leo placements. Your pop-out season is now. Standing on your truth unapologetically is now. Your season of worrying and fretting and being in that low vibe energy that's behind you, that's supposed to be, if you so choose, in your rearview mirror. It's time to show not just the people around you or, people at the high school reunion, what you're made of. It's time to show the world what you're made of if you so accept the challenge. That's where your happily ever after lies. That's where your wish fulfillment lies. That's where that answered prayer lies. Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising, Neptune, Pisces energy, right? Dreams, intuition, mysticism. Shout out to my fellow Sagittarius, sun, moon, and or rising. Illusions, fantasies, subconscious, and mind. It's important for you to dig deeper into your spirituality, right? Knowing that dreams aren't just dreams and how to protect yourself in dreams. Because this next level that you're going into spiritually, that's where you're going to be attacked first. So be prepared. This is also saying, regardless of how lofty those goals are, or how people may say that a dream is impossible, anything's possible because you're possible. You are a testament of anything being possible. You being here, right? Despite all the NDEs and struggles that life presented you with, you're still standing. Use this year to manifest your biggest, baddest dreams. And lean into Piscean energy, right? Having that one foot here on earth and the other foot in the astral, and maintaining balance, because that's where you live now. That's your address, right? Right at the intersection. Capricorn. Ooh, Lao Tzu. Isn't this the guy that wrote The Art of War? Oh, of course, Capricorn would get The Art of War. Life is a... Yes, my Capri Sun. I mean that with everything, with love and everything I've got. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Some of my Capri Suns need to be a little bit more unpredictable. Get out of the routine. Play hooky from work. Do something crazy, as long as it's not a harm to yourself or others. But definitely use this year to do, I'm sure, I don't know which one of you is this stush, right? Or this much reserved or demure, I should say, right? But it's time to let your hair down. It's time to play a little or a lot, respectfully. Aquarius, sun, moon, and or rising, seed of life. It is considered a symbol of creation, growth, and a blueprint of the universe. When you're meditating, it's good to incorporate adult coloring books that have designs like this in it. It will help you get out of that concrete thinking and more into your abstract thinking. The natural tracing the lines of the symbols in your own color theme will help open up that part of your brain that allows you to go into a deep meditation, trance-like meditation. And of course, with all things, practice makes one better. And last but not least, and not less, Pisces, sun, moon, and or rising. You have a quote by Jamie Anderson. Grief, I've learned, is really just love. It's all the love you want to give but cannot. When we talk about giving love, one of the analogies I like to use is getting that cup from your favorite fast food place, right? You know, that takeout cup, right? That you put the straw in, like you could pop the lid off, right? And, add other things into it, but you got to pop the lid off. A lot of times when we try to love someone, it's like trying to add something to their cup with that lid still being on. So as much as you pour and you pour and you pour and you pour, it's just going all over, but never inside. You might get a trickle, a dot or two inside, right, through the straw hole, but it never enters into the cup as intended. A lot of people, because you're a Pisces and you love differently and you live between those two worlds, and sometimes you are too good to be true, right? You are challenging to understand. A lot of people may not know how to receive you, and always remember that has more to do with them than it does you. Keep showing up. The person that you are meant to pour into will not only be able to receive that love that you give, but will be able to reciprocate. We love reciprocity. They'll be able to pour as much into you as you do to them, right? That true Two of Cups energy. That is your message for the zodiac signs. Before we pull a really quick love reading, because it's already 3:38 and I gotta make tracks. You are welcome, Sparkle. No routine. That is definitely the Sag message, Boogie. That is definitely, and you will be in hermit mode for just a little bit longer. Ashley, I truly appreciate you being with us, and I hope that she wears a red lip. She wears a red lip. I post a song. She posts the same. I cannot. First of all, I am a fan of a red lip, right? Big fan, right? Ruby Woo. That was my first red lip. Now I sport, when I do wear makeup, I sport a lovely red number that is probably a dupe for Ruby Woo. For all my MAC heads, a number by Christian Dior that I do not remember, but is equally as great. And I'm looking, what is that? The one from the lip bar, the matte one? That looks gorgeous. I feel like we need a new deck for the love reading. We're just going to get 3 cards. What you can expect in love this month. And then we're going to run through the messages. Margie, all I could do is shake my head. That's all I could do. All I can do is just shake my head. Is this going to be enough? Oh, okay. So the Neon Awakening of Volume 1, which we haven't used as much as Volume 2. All right. Holy Spirit, what message does the collective need to hear? Thank you. On this day for the love message, they need to hear about what 2026 is bringing them in love. And while these are oracle cards or such, we don't read them in reverse. And then we'll use this deck to clarify. What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? I really appreciate the new follows and you guys, because I think we're heading into an hour that we've been live. So, yeah, thank you. Holy Spirit, what else do we need to know when it comes to love? Thank you. Like when they go when they're supposed to. Anything else needs to be clarified for the collective? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Put this away. All right. First message we got, and looks like it's reversed. Bluff. Pretending, mask, exaggerating. This is for a special group of you guys who recently broke up with somebody within the past 6 months or so, or have been arguing with your person and they're thinking like you're not being serious. You have to show them just how serious you are. With this Four of Swords, there's confirmation, right? Because when we see the Four of Swords in traditional tarot, it's the knight resting with their thoughts, not doing anything by themselves, right? But in your case, is to prove a point that you are standing on business, going back to holding those firm boundaries. You know what you want in love, right? You've tried to negotiate. You've done all the other things, but hold firm to this is what I want. This is possible. Even if your friends, your loved ones are telling you, oh, that's a fairy tale. It'll never happen. Who lives like that? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. No, baby, do whatever makes your heart sing. Life is too short to do otherwise. Life is way too short to do otherwise. Whoever is not respecting your boundaries, show them who you are. Oh, going back to what was said in one of the readings, show them that you're not nice, right? The difference is being kind, being respectable, right? To a certain degree, you're not going to shrink yourself, right? To make others small. You're not going to make yourself small to make others feel better about themselves and their choices or to fit in. You're not doing that anymore. Right? In my ethics class, the professor said in the beginning, right? Ethics, right? There's ethical, right? Doing the right thing, or there's doing the right thing. When you're not nice, you're about doing the right thing that's best for you in a way that supports you and doesn't intentionally harm others or hurt others. But if it does, oh well. If you doing life the way you want life makes people feel a certain type of way, oh well. If you having these expectations of love, right? You want the flowers, you want the dates. Maybe you want to be left alone on Saturdays between 7 and 8, right? Whatever it is that you want, it's supposed to be yours. I mean, yeah, relationships do have that level of compromise, but both people compromising, not just you. The days and the eras of you just compromising, you being the one to always show people grace, yeah, that's out of here. Curse and finality, being crossed by the Five of Wands, right? The energy of challenges, obstacles. Ooh. Oh. This ties into, and this is not for, no, I'm going to speak this into existence because we're not going to spend 2026 in this energy. This energy is for the next 2 weeks. This corresponds with the message that was posted about the monster, about the people who specifically resonated with the part that, your person is speaking bad on your name, right? Making it look like you're the problem, right? Playing victim and that stuff. Some of you in this energy, they have even gone as far to do the bippity boppity boo, to do the witchcraft, to do the hexing, and have delayed your finances, delayed you finding somebody else, have put all these things into place so that you would have no choice but to come back to them, even though you've been standing on your boundaries, right? You've been showing them, at least on the outside, that you mean what you say, and you say that you're saying what you mean. Whatever ended, you ended that chapter and you were convinced to go into 2026 without them showing up the way that they did. Like you were very serious and intentional about that. And they still think you're playing. They still think for whatever reason you walking away is not serious, but they're about to learn the hard way. The karmic justice one receives for standing in the face of this is having that table prepared in front of them. It's having someone like, this interferes in your life to a degree, right? And there's ways around it, ways to get past it. But at the end of the day, whatever you throw out in the world comes back to you, period. So this person that has been doing the work against your love life, doing this, doing that, right, in spirit and the physical to prevent you from moving on, they're going to find out why they call you the daughter or the son of the Most High. They're going to find out who you truly are. If love hasn't shown up the way for you in the way that you wanted, it's about to. And this is for everybody on the live. Heavy on the energy of being blocked with these 5 cards coming out, but that you being pulled out of that energy so that you can find, or so that true love can finally find you, right? You are at the mercy of divine timing, of ending one chapter. They're showing me the smoke clearing before you can begin another. Well, if you're dealing with a Pisces, or if you are a Pisces or Cancer, This is who that love message is for primarily. We know from the messages that came out prior that love has to show up for the collective, right? Because more people being in love and loving and all that good energy raises the vibration of the planet that we desperately need. This hangman, different perspectives, changing the way you look at things. Also Aquarius energy. Letting go. Delay. With this moon energy. Going back to now, I totally forget who got the message that specifically said their blessings were put on hold. Their wish fulfillment was put on hold because they were at war. Who got that message? We'll watch it on the replay. But a lot of these things couldn't come in. You don't know what was going on in the background. You don't know how, to what extent someone has gone to prove your bluff. What they don't realize is that they always needed you more than you needed them. Somebody got really cocky because they bagged a larger than life earth angel. And they felt, well, if I could get an earth angel, I can get a goddess. Wrong, have a seat. They're learning the hard way that you can't manipulate timelines. You could try, because again, we have that free will. We all have some type of spiritual capabilities. How far we're willing to go with it and what we're willing to go do with it is up to us. But anybody, karmics, exes, mothers, because that's a conversation to be had in itself. But any of the above or others that have tried to interfere in your love life or that have interfered in your love life, they're about to get a rude awakening, a very rude awakening. Keep doing what you've been doing. Whoever you released heavy on the who's ever in your past, leave them there. If you closed a chapter recently, leave them there. Very hard on everything was done in October since the last eclipse season, right? To put people in proximity of each other, right? Maybe not together just yet, but divine partners in proximity so you know who's who and what's what, and an opportunity to do the work or not. If they haven't done the work, which goes back to the general message, it's time to say goodbye. That final goodbye, and leave them in the rear view mirror. By the time the next eclipse season rolls around, which coincidentally, or not coincidentally, because I don't believe in coincidences, the start of the Chinese New Year, we have an eclipse that day too. Right? A solar eclipse? Because if it's a solar eclipse, it's ushering bright new beginnings, huge new beginnings, right? Eclipses are always, well, if it's a solar eclipse, it's new moon energy. So it keeps the energy of 6 new moons in one, right? That we feel 3 months before and 3 months after. If it's a lunar eclipse, that's full moon energy, right? Same thing. It's the power of 6 full moons. And y'all got my message about the blue moon coming up in May. Plan accordingly. February 17th, April, end of April. A lot of you, that's when is it going to happen? That's when you're going to see that huge turning point. If you haven't seen the tides turn yet, end of April, between February 17th and the end of April, you will. I was having the same conversation today about leaving people in the past. During this 1 year, there's no more caping for people. There's no more trying to pull them along. Like, these next 9 years, not only is it going to change your personal, individual landscape, the world as we know it is going to be completely different in 9 years than it is right now. Mm, 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 mm. She does. The curiosity boogie eats her alive. The energy of why her still eats her alive. And you would think because she got da 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 going on, she has her hands full. They're not full enough, but they will be. She's been quiet. They want you to know that she's been quiet in spirit, but the thoughts still dance in the back of her mind. Because she's been warned what's at stake if she continued in spirit. Can't bippity boppity boo in her position. I mean, you can, right? I keep asking him for flowers and he's still. When's the last time you bought yourself flowers? Like a ridiculous, huge bouquet, right? Of flowers. They're saying obnoxious bouquet of flowers. One that is like huge, vibrant, and smells so good. When's the last time? Oh, honeybee, enjoy lunch with your kids. I knew my girls would love Ruby Roo. Because, these mothers, right? Buy yourself an obnoxious thing of flowers. And when they see them, like, oh, yeah, those things, yeah. I wanted flowers, so I got flowers. Don't guilt trip them, just, you did it for you. And they'll either take that as, I need to get my game together because I feel like I'm about to be replaced. And will be. Once you start moving differently and letting them know that not you've changed, right? Because it only takes a split second to change, really, right? And you've committed that this is my vision of love. This is what I want. You're either going to do it or next. Even if that next is a season of singleness as you refine that vision of love and make peace with your past. Something to think about, dear Amber. Now, before we wrap up, any questions, thoughts, feelings, insights you want to share with the collective, right? Because, somebody else may need to hear it. Buying flowers for yourself, buying gifts for yourself, going on solo dates, all a part of self-love. We're told that we can't receive the type of love that we've never even given ourselves. So it's all a moment to give yourself that love. And they will either fall in line or make space for somebody else to. Your guides and angels are very clear about that. Okay. The replay will be uploaded this evening, sometime around 9:00 or before, but definitely sometime around that hour, I guess. I hope so, right? If TikTok lets me download it without any problems, then yeah. As I wrap up and get ready to head out, because I also got to go and pick up some stuff, some TikTok shop stuff. Where's the box for this? Okay. Any other questions, thoughts, feelings that you want to share before we go? And if you have things that pop up after the message, you're like, oh my God, I want to ask. Right? Yes, you could get a reading, but you could always just message me. I will never, especially my new folks, hi, I will never message you first. Even if I want to, right? You say something in the comments and I'm like, oh, we got to get into this. I stand firm on not messaging people first. So if anybody hits you up claiming to be Etta, they're not. They're not. And you're right, lovely cat. Letting go is the hardest thing to do. Especially with things that we really want. And we've been like that since we were toddlers. One of the things we don't grow out of. All right. My dears, I love you guys all, newbies included. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. We reconnected and he's fumbling again, but still trying. Take it to the Most High on what you should do next, in addition to getting the flowers. Another thing, when holding that vision of love, putting the energy of seeing him as the self, the version of his self that can rise into the expectations you have of a partner. Holding that vision, especially when you're falling asleep, that SATs, that moment that's where I forget the exact term, right? But that moment when you're drifting off to sleep and your subconscious is free and open and ego's not battling for your time and attention, that's when you can program your subconscious with certain things and ideas. And once you have an idea firmly planted, such as the idea of someone showing up in a very specific way, one or two things are going to happen. That person is going to show up in the way that you've been envisioning, or somebody else is going to come in and show up in that way. It's a state of mind that we enter when we're just about to fall asleep. So as you lay down and you're getting ready for bed, think about, what it is that you want to manifest in a way that you've already manifested, not just in love, but in all areas of your life. And always hold the feeling of, this is what you want, this is what you have to receive. Anything that falls outside of that vision you created is outside of that vision and has nothing to do with you. In the beginning, you will see everything. You will hear everything that contradicts that vision manifesting. Your job is to hold firm to that vision, right? We could get into the firmament, meaning firm of mind, but be firm of mind, knowing that whatever you created, right, has to manifest. Just like you're creating a pot of rice, right? You're making a pot of rice. You know how you make it. Well, you know how to make a pot of rice, right? You know what goes into it, right? There shouldn't be a surprise when you uncover that rice just before you sit down for dinner, right? Same way with our manifestation. I hope that's helpful. It really hit me when you said they're about to find out why you're called the daughter of God. Not just for the people that are on this collective, right? Well, everyone who's been under some type of interference or free will manipulation, spiritual warfare, and things of that nature. Some spiritualists will tell you, go ahead and mess with somebody's free will. Do not. And if you work with me and I find out that you've done work to mess with someone's free will, that will be your last time working with me. Not even the Most High interferes with our free will. As man, we have no business, even if it's for somebody's highest good, and even that is debatable. But everybody who's been in their Job season, so to speak, or just being persecuted in their Joseph season, so to speak, are about to get into their kingdom, their queendom season, right? Are about to be a testament to the fact that who God bless, can't no one curse. You might delay, it might look like you're getting away with something, but the Most High sits on high and looks down low and sees everything. And we could get into why do bad things happen to good people? And, if that's such, then why does this, we could get into that. But at the end of the day, the basic part of that is that we're all given the opportunity to fuck up and get better. To have a thought, run loose with it in the wrong direction, and then say, wait a minute, I'm going in the wrong direction, before he intervenes. And I can't wait to hear all about it. I cannot wait. Ooh. Of dreams, when you said Joseph's season of dreams, yes. Yes. Can no contact take more than 6 months? No contact, Z, can take forever. There's a lot of work, a lot of happenings that happen when somebody's in no contact. A lot of visions, a lot of dreams, a lot of inspiration, a lot of downloads, a lot of time for somebody to pick and choose what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing, whether they want to stay stuck or they're willing to elevate to that next higher version of themselves. And at the beginning of the reading, Spirit was very, very clear about there being a lot of masculines, especially who are going around saying, this is just the way I am. Take it or leave it. Well, a lot of people, more so masculines that were being encouraged to change, encouraged to shift, being in that energy of, yeah, this is who I am. That stubborn energy is going to get, it's going to get you stuck. Sarah, yes, this video should be up on the channel around 9-ish this evening. Around 9-ish. Being that you were able to recognize that, Amber, is huge, right? That's that running in the wrong direction and saying, wait a minute, right? That wait a minute, I'm headed in the wrong direction is the point where you've actually won. You haven't hit your coronation yet because preparations are being made. As long as you hold that energy, as long as you hold that vibe, it's going to get so good. You're absolutely right, lovely cats. You're absolutely right. And when that happens, everyone, right, whether you're feminine or masculine energy, who's in that thriving energy and have to leave your person behind, don't feel sorry, don't have winner's remorse, we can call it, right? Survivor's remorse, right? But really that winner's remorse. We all have choices. Same way you're getting downloads, same way you're getting, wait a minute, what does 1111 mean? I saw a cardinal today. What does that mean? They're getting those same knocks to their subconscious, to their intuition. But a lot of us are just so busy with the busyness of life that we either couldn't care less or we just don't pay attention because so what, right? That's not real. These bills are real, right? The flat tire is real, right? The roof that needs repairing is real. They're going to have to learn the hard way, that the way they have been taught is why they suffer. And they had the opportunity to get past it, but didn't. Hearing an owl, right? And especially the part of the world that you're in, or even the part of the States. Like if you are hearing an owl and you live in the city, your guides are definitely screaming at you, right? Owls are very wise. They can see in all around them, right? They can see through the darkness. Those moments where you hear the owl, regardless of where you are living, is a time for you to stop what you're doing and not ask, okay, what are you trying to tell me? But just sit in the energy and listen. Owls, birds, any kind of birds, right, are winged messengers. All of these creatures that fly live between the two realms, and a lot of times are angels because we'd freak out if we saw them in their angelic form, right? They'll come to us as birds, but we have to honor their presence and slow down and just take that moment to actually listen to them. Hawks too. Hawks too, especially you'll see the hawk more so when you're in the throes of spiritual warfare, whether you know it or not. And it comes to act as some type of ward, as some type of protector in the physical. Hawks too have they may not have the sight of an owl where they can see through the darkness and all around, but they have a good field of view since they can go so high up. So that's a sign. It could be a sign of you being watched over and protected. Thank God, Miss Nicole. Thank God, because I still worry for him, honestly speaking, because of the energy of transition and what he's coming out of and the people you guys have around you. But seeing that is a confirmation that he's just fine. Come what may, he's just fine. Cats are always protectors, right? I'm not a cat person, and they know to bring them one by one when I need to see them, because if I happen on a clan of cats, I'm hightailing it the other way. Like, I don't even want to know what you guys have to tell me, because you guys know I don't like cats, right? But they're usually protectors that come around to shift the energy. Sometimes they come around to evaluate what has been heard in the spiritual realm to see what's actually going down in the physical realm. I did say I would share with you guys. So some of you guys are waiting for readings from me that haven't been recorded yet. I pretty much followed up with everyone that had a session, an actual phone session scheduled since last week. But the thing of it is, I ended up in the emergency room New Year's Eve, the morning of New Year's Eve, due to something called PACs, which is basically a fancy term. It's like pre-ventricle, blah, 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 heart palpitations, right? But they were really, really bad. It wasn't just my heart going da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was me leaning to the side, and my heart not only hearing my heartbeat in my ear, but my heart sounding like it was trying to remember the bass line for the Macarena song. So it sounded very, very abnormal to me. And they did all the tests, they did all the things. And I had my follow-up yesterday, and they can't find a medical reason for why I had that episode, and being perfectly normal yesterday. So between New Year's Eve and yesterday, I was just like, I'm not doing too much, because if they can't find a medical reason that I'm going through this, and it's not that I was anxious. When I have anxiety, it does show up a different way. I'll feel that in the very center of my chest, right? But this was definitely more to the left. And as I leaned to the left, at one point, it felt like there was a baby bird just having at it beneath my rib cage. And I was like, wait, we can't play these reindeer games. But being that there's like no reason, and the doctors are all like, well, these things can happen, and while it's a little bit abnormal, like there's a normal abnormal, and everything else looks fine. So we'll just keep it top of mind, and if it happens again, let us know. Follow up in 3 months. Okay. Now we lean into the spiritual side. Whenever there's a medical condition that you experience that literally there's no reason why you should be having that episode, it usually, not all the times, but usually points to something spiritual. So I don't know who did what New Year's Eve, but when you get found out, that's going to be fun. When that person is brought to justice, or persons, I don't know. But yes, I'm fine. But that's the reason why for the delays, and I'm sorry. I tried to keep up with everybody and go as normal, but I had to realize this is not normal. And in 2026, we're not pushing through anything. We're stopping what we're doing, because there's a lot more at stake in 2026 than ever. A lot of the people that I serve are in spiritual warfare. So if I go down and I'm not paying attention, I'll get messages for them, and I'll totally miss that, right? And I'm pretty sure they'll be fine, but they would be finer if they got the information sooner. 2026 for my high priestesses and my high priest, right? Because there's only one of you on the live right now. As we transition, as we inch up to the astrological new year, It's very, very important that you stay grounded. Stay grounded. Your spiritual health comes first. Your physical health comes second. But maintaining that groundedness, because there is an assault on highly in tuned, highly spiritual people with good hearts being attacked in one way or another by the powers that be, right? To stop this journey, this goal, this dream we have of elevating the vibration of the planet. Archangel Michael protect everyone, and he always does. I suspect him and Raphael were the ones screaming into my ear saying, go to the hospital now. Cash, I'm very, very happy that you feel better. Oh, Miss Nicole, that it's a lot. Because you guys know I'm not very good with you guys ask me all the time. Sometimes during the middle of the session, you guys will stop me like, wait a minute, Etta, how are you doing? Right. And I love that, but I struggle with sharing with how I'm doing. And that's one of my goals to work on in 2026. And they are messing with the wrong one, but what can you do? Right. Except do what you've been called here to do in a way that pleases the Most High. This happened to me before. My pressure was high. You know how many times they took my blood pressure? And one time it had dropped down to like 98/50 something. Like I typically run average or almost slightly below average blood pressure. So that in itself was like telling me already, even before the echo thingamajig and the EKG came back, I was like, I hope insurance covers all of this, guys. They did offer the monitor, but I said, I think I'm fine. If it happens again, maybe I'll wear the monitor for 7 days, but there's no medical reason. Didn't eat anything different, didn't do anything different, didn't have a really strenuous workout or anything like that. Hi, Lex. Did you have a panic attack? No. I haven't had a panic attack in a long time, but I know what those feel like, and those are usually in my chest. And that's the thing. I had on my Apple Watch, and that should have been my first clue because it wasn't alerting me to anything. It wasn't dinging or had any weird messages going on. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's what it is. And out of all days, I promise you, I sat in the emergency room. The nurses and the doctor, they were all really, really, really nice. But the whole entire time I was there, I was like, absolutely not. You guys need to find out what's wrong. I was praying because who wants to spend New Year's Eve for someone like me being if I had to be in the hospital, well, I have to be. But welcoming in 2026 in a hospital bed? Absolutely not. As a healer, that's a smack in the face, actually. Thankfully, I didn't. Something big is coming and people are trying everything they can. Yeah. On a global and individual scale. Like if you're really paying attention to what's shown on the news, right? Because we all know at this point we're only shown what they want us to see. You'll see the change happening, the shift happening, and people are struggling to maintain the power. They think censoring apps is how you're going to stop the enlightened ones from waking up, but the ball that's already set in motion doesn't need an app, doesn't need this. People are stepping into the awakening because they're hearing that knock and they're doing the work. Even if we should go dark and there's no World Wide Webs to search out information, the information will come and people, the chosen ones, will know what to do and how to move. What's coming can't be stopped. You sure did. And I was like, should I tell her? I'm fine. Miss Nicole. And I will say, Dorsey, that I am the most hard-headed person. I'm working on it, right? That I've known. I've always been this way. Stubborn as a mule. Stubborn as a mule. New heart, I will rest. I have been resting. I have been taking it easy. I have been very intentional about how I spend my energy currency and only focusing on primarily my mentees, not leaving everybody else by the wayside, but being very intentional about blocking off certain chunks of time that I can give to the collective. Like today, this was very intentional to be on for at least a certain amount of time, not only to connect with you guys, but to hold that safe and sacred space for you to start thinking about and leaning into your own spiritual growth and journey. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. So yes, I will be also more intentional about sharing Edda's adventures with you guys. Um, the good, the bad, the otherwise. Why? Because I am human. Like most of you only see my hands. Some of you have seen me in the astral. Because that's talent, right? To pop up on me in spirit, that's talent and power that can only be given from the divine. But I will be in 2026 more intentional about sharing, if you guys don't mind, of course. Of course. And looky. Hi, Lexi Bear. This will go on the other platform. And I'm debating on whether or not I should keep that last part included. You know what? We're going to upload the whole thing around 9:30 tonight. 9-ish, 9:30. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the download button and then make tails out of here, run my errands and come back. Hopefully it will be downloaded and then I could, chop it up just a little bit and then upload it to YouTube, which sometimes take forever. And Layla, you are definitely in the mix that are affected by me not being able to show up in the way that I'm supposed to. But you are top of mind, and I should get to you tomorrow morning, my time. And I love you guys for listening. I love you more for listening. Thank you. Thank you. Amber, you have been such a light to have around. We love new people, but we also love when like-minded individuals find us. Enjoy your stay and feel free to ask any questions, right? Not just on the live, but elsewhere. And again, I will never reach out to you first. I should be fine. Today is the 6th though, right? So we'll see what happens after 6 o'clock, because that can totally change. I can totally be pulled in another direction, but we shall see. In the meantime, it's Taco Tuesday. Do with that what you will. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and as always, on today and the next 365 days, stay blessed.